What is going on, people? Tunde again from Ceasar Graphix. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and remember to ring the bell so you will be notified when I post my tutorials. I'm so excited today because I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make this poster that I did for a client. And without any further ado, let's jump into today's tutorial. So I'm going to create a new document. So I'll click on file and I'll select new. So for this project, I'm going to use the 1080 by 1350. Okay. And I'm going to make the resolution 120. So I'm going to call this FW, which is finish well. And I'm going to change my color mode to RGB. Then I'm going to click on create. So the next thing I'm going to do is to create my guides. So I'm going to go to view and I'll select new guide layout. So for this project, I'm going to be using the 4 columns and 10 rows. And I'm going to make my border to be 20 and 20. Okay, so I'll make the margin 50. And I'm going to click on the OK button. So the first thing I'm going to do is to bring in my dust background. So drag that and drop like so, and I'll hold on Alt and drag to scale this big. I'll position it somewhere around here. Okay, so I'm going to create a new layer now, and I'll call this a color from here and make it brighter. So okay, then I'll fill the layer with my foreground color with the shortcut, which is Alt Backspace, and I'm gonna select the eraser tool, and I'll make sure I'm using the soft round brush for my eraser, and I'll increase my brush size. Just gonna take out. I'll bring the free transform, and I'll move this down and push this up like so. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to bring in the picture of the city. So I'm going to drag that and drop, and I'll change the opacity, reduce the opacity, add a vector mask to the layer, and I'll select the brush tool, reduce the size of my brush. So now make sure you're using the soft round brush for this, and make sure that your foreground is set to black. So I'm going to click on this icon here to switch to black, and I'm just going to brush. So I'm going to position this somewhere here. Position this here like so. Reduce the opacity a little bit more, just like so. Alright, and I'll bring in the picture of the medal with the hand, and I'm gonna make this flip to the side. Hold on Alt and drag. Just position this here. You know what, let's just rotate it a little. So I'm going to hide the guides. So to do that, I'm going to use the shortcut, which is Ctrl H on my keyboard. And we need to work on the medal with the hand. So I'm going to start with this, the rope of the medal. And the reason why I'm changing the color of the rope is because I want to achieve the complementary color harmony. If you don't understand what I'm saying, I'm going to put the link here for you to watch the tutorial on how to use color tutorial that I did. And I'm going to use the hue adjustment, and I'll pick a color because I want to change it to the opposite of orange on the color wheel. So I'm going to move this down. All right, Now as you can see, it's only affecting the rope because I clicked on this icon and I pick this color here. So I'm gonna move this to something around this blue, and I'm just gonna change this to this shade of blue like so. So I think I like this, and I'm gonna click on this icon because I only want it to apply to the hand with the medal. So I'm gonna click on it, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add more depth to the shadow and the highlight on the hand. So I'm going to go to the adjustment panel again, and I'm going to select the curve, and I will click on this icon to apply to just only the hand with the medal layer. And I'm going to move this down like so. Now you see we're beginning to see more of the shadow, and I'm going to move this up like so. So I'm just going to move this like so. All right, now the advantage of doing this is so as to make the image have more depth. Okay, so I notice we have too much highlight on this side of the hand, so we need to reduce that. So to do that, I'm going to create a new layer, and I'm going to call this layer reduce lights, and this should be under the hue saturation layer. I'm going to pick a color from here. All right, and I'll hit OK. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to apply the color to the highlight of the hand. So I'm going to select the brush tool, reduce the size of my brush like so, and I'm just going to brush this side of the hand like so. All right, so what we're going to do now is to blend if this. So I'm going to double click here to bring out the blend if option. Okay, so I'm going to move it to this side. Now you see we're beginning to see these sharp edges of the brush layers, so we need to smooth that. So to do that, I'm going to hold down Alt and click to break the wheel or the slider, and I'm going to move this in like so, and I'm going to move this like so to this side. Reduce the opacity, not too much, like so. So I'm going to hit OK. So this is the before and this is the after. Create a new layer with Alt, hold down and click on the new layer icon, and I'm going to change this to color dodge, and I'll check the fill with color dodge neutral color black option here, and I'm going to call this light. Then I'm going to select OK. So what I'm going to do is to choose this shade of orange like so. All right, and I'm going to select the brush tool, increase the size of my brush, and I'm just going to click to make the medal more glowy. All right, so I'm going to reduce my flow to something around 29, excuse me, and I'm just going to apply the brush to the medal. So all right, this is good. Now I noticed that we don't have the light effect on this side of the hand, so we need to apply that to the hand also. So I'm going to hold on Control and create a marquee of the hand, and I'm going to click on the layer mask icon here. Now the reason why I'm doing this is because I don't want the brush effect to go outside of the hand, because if I don't do that and I start applying the brush, it's possible we may end up having the brush effect outside the hand. So I'm going to reduce the size of my brush a little bit, and I'm just going to apply the color. Now you see we are not on the right option here, so I'm going to click on the black color dodge layer now, and I'm going to apply the light effect to this part of the hand just like so. So I want it to look like the light effect coming out from the medal is what is reflecting on the hand. So I'm going to increase the size of my brush and just make this more scoops, and I'm going to make this go down, more light here just like so. Put the size of my brush and just apply the light somewhere here. Right, this is good. So I noticed that the glow effect on the brush is off, so we need to go back to the layer mask of the layer and switch this to white, because white makes the layer visible and black hides the layer. So I'm going to brush now to make the glow effect on the medal come out like the way we had it before. So I'm just gonna brush it, comb out. See, this is good. All right, so this is beautiful. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is to add more depth to this. So I'm going to go to the adjustment panel and click on the curve adjustment, and I'm going to move this down like so. All right, this is good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the opacity of this a little, not too much. All right, and I'm going to select the brush tool, and I'm going to switch this back to 100, and I'll switch this to black, this the size of my brush, and just take out the curve from the upper part of the project like so. All right, this is good. I'm going to add another curve again, so I'm going to come here and just move this down like so. So this time I'm going to hit the Control I on my keyboard to reverse the mask. And I'm going to switch this to white because, like I said previously, white make the layer visible and black hides the layer. So I'm going to move this here, and I'm just going to add the curve back to some part of the project like so. So it looks like we need to reduce the strength of the light layer. So I'm going to reduce it. The next thing we're going to do now is to take this to camera raw. So to do that, I'm going to select the very first layer, and I'm going to select the Ctrl Shift Alt and E on my keyboard, and I'll go to filter, then camera raw filter here. So I'll start from the basics, which is this. So I'm using Photoshop CC 2020, and I'm going to move the exposure up a little, and for the contrast I'm going to reduce that like so. All right, my highlight needs to go down just like so. And for my texture, all right, because I want to be able to add more contrast to the pixels, so I'm going to move this up like so. All right, and I think everything is fine the way they are, and I'm going to select OK. Okay, then I'm going to start adding my text. So before I do that, I need to bring back my guide. So I'm going to hold down Ctrl H to bring out the guides, and I'm going to start putting my text. Okay, so I'm gonna hide my guides now, and this is what we have. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial, guys, and if you have not subscribed, remember to hit the subscribe button and remember to press that bell so you will be notified when I post my tutorials. I'll see you guys again in the next one. Peace.